We continue this series of cities that would possibly be, wanting to have an NHL team. Well, we know what these guys are, but it's also the city of Milwaukee. Do they deserve something? Well, I didn't find a lot, but let's talk about it. We're here, or roll the intro or something. I'm all geared up and ready to rock and roll. I don't have really anything to go by or anything for the city of Milwaukee. I have nothing. So I'll just put my City Logs hat on that you can get custom to whatever you want. I'm not paying me to do that. But we're continuing this little mini series that I'm doing of cities that want to have an NHL team but don't. But if they did, what would they be? And we've done a handful of them on this thing, and we're going to do the city of Milwaukee today. And kind of a thing like, Milwaukee, it's got a nice history and a nice little background of, they can do hockey. They're hop, skip, and a jump away from Chicago. Why not have it? They have a nice little thing going in the NBA, so why not? Let's do this. Let's jump right into it. I really don't have a whole heck of a lot to go by, but there is this thing right here. It's a subscribe button. Hit that if you want to be somewhat in shape or form of rung the bell of anything new that comes across. We do appreciate you as we're pushing 1,000 subs. We do appreciate you for all this time that you have let a young or somewhat mid-level YouTuber just join and do some random stuff. And we are variety on this channel. So let me just jump right into the thing as we sit here. What would Milwaukee's beef be? Let's just hypothetically say, like we've said in some of the last couple, in the last couple of videos, what would Milwaukee be if they actually had, if they had an NHL team? Well, as you can see here, this is the Milwaukee Admirals. They are in the AHL. Still a very, very popular AHL's franchise. I mean, if you look at some of the great franchises in AHL, American Hockey League history, Milwaukee's right up there. They have won Calder Cup, and they've gone through some many media. They've many phases, many rebrands. We remember a lot of different stuff. And let me see if I can just beef this up a little bit here. I mean, if you remember the old like cartoon logos, then they went with the skull with the captain hat on. But the massive one on the bottom right is their main logo. That's what everybody remembers, although the skull's pretty dope, I'm not going to lie. But the Milwaukee Admirals have been very, very fluent throughout AHL history. Like I said, one Calder Cup. They're the Nashville Predators farm team, and I believe Nashville's double A is the Atlanta Gladiators. And I think they play in Gwinnett. I'm not sure off the top of my head. If I put a comment in, if you know. But Milwaukee, what would they be if hypothetically, Gary Bettman has a taser up his butt, and he's thinking, well, I'm thinking Atlanta and Houston are coming, so there's 34, there's 34. But if you go to 36, with all the possibilities of Quebec, Kansas City, New Orleans, Hamilton, and or whatever, Milwaukee's name gets thrown in there. Cincinnati, a handful of others that doesn't have an NHL franchise. Well, we're going to go and just see and just toy with. First of all, remember what the NHL, what they have here of what the Admirals have had, or in case now, I know they've had some different ones with the Reebok era, but their jerseys are very, very simple. The dark navy blue, baby blue, and the one here with the cartoon with the cartoonish, that was like a third jersey for them, and then they had the retro with the hat and the big chin. Uh, they're really, really. I don't have anything bad to say about Milwaukee Admirals jerseys. They've always been probably if you're a collector, do you collect American Hockey League stuff? Well, Milwaukee should be on your list. There's no doubt about it. The one with the cartoon Patriot is actually hands down. It's clean, it's simple, and my classmate, I think, has this jersey. I don't know. But he's a Nashville Predators fan. He goes to the farm teams and watches them. So what else do they have? Well, I went through the world of the Info Super Highway, and I didn't see a lot. It was the same thing with New Orleans. I didn't see a whole heck of a lot, but we saw like a couple things hanging on Google, like the Milwaukee Hunters. You just get that little M, and some dude in a Tuscan hat or whatever shooting deer. I think they kind of wanted to have some sort of a relationship with the Milwaukee Bucks, but I really don't know what to take about that. All this was a logo. Let me just get out of this. Let's just fly through this. Here's one, and I'll just start naming them off. This one comes off the aesthetics thing. And this one was, I believe, the Milwaukee Pike. And it's basically going to be pretty much another orange team. Now let's just dissect this because this actually isn't terrible. I mean, you're looking at the logo, Milwaukee Hockey Club, Utah Hockey Club, how you want to jive that, but that's a little bit close to. It's not Texas Longhorn orange, but you get the multiple striping that's identical to the arms, black, gray, like a metal gray, and then black again. It really mimics the sleeves and the bottom. The logo is actually not bad. I wouldn't put a hockey club in there. If you're going to put Pike in there. The collar looks really, really fascinating on the orange. White, it stands out. I don't know what they do with a third, but besides the logo, I mean, this looks farm teamish, but I don't know if I'd make this an NHL franchise, but the jerseys are not bad. I mean, orange to white. This is not necessarily, you're not in the same realm as Ducks and Flyers, but I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm not crazy on a fish logo. But then again, Seattle was toying with that too. Let's move on. Here was the older ones for the Admirals, and these were really now the old logo because obviously they have the all three eras. I mean, or at least the two eras. The eras with the blue, and then they had the red, white, and blue. This old Milwaukee Admiral looks like the really old Atlanta Knights logo. Really close. That's how it goes to. But it is another aesthetic concept, and it's simple. The black with the baby blue, and I'll try to zoom in. Is really. I mean, I don't mind it, but it's really close to Carolina Panthers. It's really close. But I don't know off the top of my head except for Utah that goes black with the baby blue. And I know every city has their own. Well, it's the Tar Heel blue. I mean, baby blue's a tint lower, but they'll use everything. I think Utah uses like mountain blue or something like that. They use like a tentative difference in that the white jersey with the black, and that's almost going old school Tampa Bay look, but the baby blue stands out. And then you got the red, white, and blue. That's really old school, like the 80s look, but that's actually a very classy trim for this little concept that Aesthetics does. And Aesthetics, their logos and their news on YouTube, especially with Jersey news, fantastic work. You want some Jersey news, especially with the hometown remix coming up next year, pin aesthetics to your stuff. Here is somebody, I don't know who made this, but it's called but let me see if I can find the other one. If I can, I think I might have knocked it out. It's called the Ospreys. And it's actually not bad. I mean, I had a picture of it too somewhere where it did like what the New Orleans stuff did. It had everything like five side logos, a home road and a third, and what they put on their t-shirts and hoodies and everything like that for the players. And I knocked that out. I don't know why I did, but here we go. And I'll tell you what, besides, I look at this entire concept here. This isn't bad. I mean, the only thing I really don't really care for is the block nameplate. Otherwise, I mean, it's fine, and I could deal with it. Number font's actually really cool, and if you're looking really close, I mean, this is what Osprey is. I mean, don't confuse Will Osprey with Will Osprey, the British assassin from AEW, but that's what that is. The trim on the front panel of the shoulder blade, well, it's not shoulder blade, but the front of the shoulders is a little bit of a nice touch. I mean, it's not block, but whatever. But baby blue, navy, gray, and gold matching the end of the cuffs, bottom of the jersey. Pants are fine. You got the Wisconsin State and the sunset on it. That's cool. The socks are dope. I like that a lot. And then the white one is actually really, really cool as well. because you're actually adding the blue touch with the block shoulders on it, and then you have the black nameplate. I don't know if they would do Ospreys, but the jerseys on here, I'm almost practically give this an S tier because it's very simple, it's simplistic, it's clean, it looks like an Adidas Prime Green type of thing. But would you use Ospreys or would you use something else? What else do we got? Let me just check my time. Milwaukee Comets, I don't know about this, but this is going to mimic the Bucks in a way. You get the C logo with the buck coming out of it, and then the goalie mask with with the horns on it. You get the Comets inside the state of Wisconsin. That mimics the Bucks, what they do for their jerseys with Bucks in the middle of it. The three jerseys here are actually not bad. They're going green, and you get a little bit of that blue trim. This is actually, like I said, mimicking pretty much anything like the Milwaukee Bucks do. The third jersey here with the goalie mask with the horns coming out, and then the horns coming out on the side. That's different, and it's beige. It's not cream color, but well, actually probably is. I'd almost use that as a specialty jersey, but I mean, Comets, I don't know about that. And plus, it says up here that would you play with player in the fest in the Fiserv Forum. That would be a good idea because the Admirals do not play in the Fiserv Forum. They actually play at the University of Milwaukee or Wisconsin Milwaukee's arena. So I actually got that messed up. I thought they played in Fiserv. So let me just toy with this. Here's one more. Here's one more. This is the Spirits. This is I think this is somebody that just wanted to put something together, but logo is not bad. You get some nice side logos to it, but your jerseys really, I don't even need to describe these, but they really look really close to. I almost think this has a roller hockey feel. I don't even think this is beer hockey. I think this is a roller hockey feel, and it kind of has it a little bit. But you're also kind of Milwaukee in purple. I don't. I kind of don't see purple in Milwaukee. I just don't. But I'll throw two little things at you, and I'm gonna shut the bar down. Here's two that they played with the Milwaukee Brewers, and if they did like a hockey night, it's these are actually really nice looking. You get the Brewers with the baby blue and the guy with the bat, but the old school Brewer logo, which is what they went back to finally, which is what the fans wanted. And then they did one with the last logo with the end with the bar with the wheat thing. This wasn't bad either. Very very clean, but this is just kind of what I found with as I just toy back to what I found. There's not a whole heck of a lot to go by with Milwaukee, but that's the fun thing about trying to put together a hockey team and have a $500 million for an expansion fee. There's so many cities. Like I'll do a couple more, but Milwaukee, you would have a hop, skip, and a jump rivalry with Chicago. You're not far off from Canada, so you hop over the border to get to Canada, and then your closest rival will be what Columbus. Um, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, you have to go down to St. Louis sometimes, but Milwaukee would be in that really, really hard demographic. I mean, somebody made the Milwaukee Pike here, but I'll throw this down. I'm gonna shut the bar down. I mean, would you put Milwaukee in a top tier of if NHL would ever go to 36 or go to 40 teams? It will never go to 40, but let's just say if it went to 40 and you had relegation. But Milwaukee, I never really thought of having an NHL team, although they are, it's Wisconsin. The very big with their winter sports. Big Ten team is good. Wisconsin football is always relevant. So, and also one more thing before I shut it down. What does Milwaukee have? Not a whole heck of a lot. They got the Bucks, and they just had us, and they just won an NBA title a handful of years ago. And you're a hops, and it's basically the Bucks and the Brewers. And the Brewers are a low payroll team, and they were the number one team in baseball last year, but they're a small payroll team. And they need Miller Park or American Health Park, whatever that dome ballpark is. It needs renovated, doesn't everything. But that's all Milwaukee has, unless you count Green Bay. But they're 2 hours north. So what else does Milwaukee need? They have an indoor soccer team too. I remember that too. But Milwaukee, what else did they need? I mean, Sometimes Green Bay went down to Milwaukee and played decades ago in the old county stadium, but they have NBA and they love their NBA, love their baseball. They don't have NHL and they don't have MLS. They don't have WNBA, but they have a non-minor league soccer team. But if you were going to throw Milwaukee in, what would you name them? Would you jump on Reddit and start putting all your stuff together? Like that video, chuck a like, put a comment in what they would be. Would they be anything close? Would they be anything close to what that is? I don't have a clue, but I am going to close the bar and maybe I'll find another city to do on the next one. And if you come along, I would really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and I'll do another one of these. And until then, I will see you lovely legends in the next one. Milwaukee Pike. See you.